So last week, I took a poll that said the following. When it comes to writing and putting out music, do you find yourself hesitant and losing momentum because you don't want to sound like everyone else? Or do you hesitate because you feel your sound is too unique/different and no one will like it because you don't sound like everyone else? Or you don't care what the trending sound is, you just write based on what you like. And here's what a few people had to say. The activist said, I get caught up wanting to write to another beat and end up in an endless perpetuated cycle of unfinished work. Frustrating. And then Maya Papaya said, same, and I have a hard time getting inspired to finish projects even when I promise myself I'll come back to them. And then Bread and Butter responded and said, that happens to me often, but then I find another beat and what I recently wrote would fit better to that one, then all of a sudden the rest of it comes out. So there's a common theme kind of occurring right here, and it's referring to the beat selection. You want to be very careful about what beat that you choose to write to initially, because it needs to be something that moves you in some type of emotional way. Because if you're already being moved emotionally, you're already pretty much halfway there to writing a song. So sometimes we pick music that doesn't really move us, and it kind of feels like we're just struggling to get stuff out. It's almost like we're having to like manufacture things and kind of force it. So beat selection is very, very important. But here's another thing that happens. Pay very close attention to how you felt initially when you was listening to that beat. So for example, if you was really excited and you was really into it, and then you spend like 3 or 4 hours trying to write a song, and then you say you're no longer feeling that beat, likely what's happened is that beat is no longer new to you, it's lost that newness, and now the normalcy of it has settled in and you're no longer getting that same type of emotional response. So you may be tricked into thinking that you don't like that instrumental anymore because it's no longer new to you. So if this is the case, then you may want to consider just pressing through, just knowing that the newness has worn off, but you can still write a dope song to that beat. Or you may want to give yourself a little bit of a break and focus on writing another song, and then maybe come back to it a little bit later once you've given your ears a bit of a break, so you kind of come back to it and have a bit of a fresh perspective. And Maya brought up another good point to where she said that she struggles to find the inspiration to write. And I totally understand that. This is like an epiphany that I had once I started coaching my students one-on-one and started writing a lot of songs with my students. I've written hundreds of songs at this point with my students behind the scenes. And when I'm doing those sessions, I'm forced to have to show up and have to add some value to those songs and have to write and come up with really good ideas. And that put a lot of pressure on me. And I learned a lot from that, because after a while, I just realized that regardless of how I feel in the beginning, the same results can be had if I just show up, stay out of the way, and just allow myself to be free and to explore many different ideas, a lot of ideas that don't work. And that's how I find the good ideas. Someone said recently, I can't remember who said it, but they said that basically their secret to success was they just simply ran out of bad ideas. They tried all the stuff that didn't work and they were left with all the good stuff, kind of like mining for gold. You got to figure out, you got to get all the rocks out of the way, all the crap out of the way, and then you get the little gold nuggets. And that really is how the creative process is a lot of times. We're throwing around just a bunch of ideas and seeing what sticks. So don't let the fact that you don't find the inspiration or have the inspiration beforehand deter you from showing up and just getting to work and expecting amazing things to happen. But just be patient in the process. There's been times where I'm working on a hook and I may be scatting, literally scatting for like nearly an hour before I figure out that magic combination. I can come up with something good relatively quickly, but I'm talking about, I'm looking for something that it's like amazing. Like when I hear it, I'm like, oh, this is gold that I've captured magic in a bottle. That's what I'm looking for. I'm going beyond okay, beyond good. I'm looking for amazing. And sometimes that takes a little bit of time. And you just got to be patient with yourself and just keep coming up with little ideas and jotting them down, knowing that the more things that you get out of your head, the more room you're making for new ideas to come through. And if you want to learn more about my one-on-one coaching service, check the link in the video description below. And on this poll, I received 203 votes, and it went a little something like this. 32% of people said, I lose momentum because I don't want to sound like anyone else. 22% said, I hesitate because I feel too unique or different. And 46% said, I don't care, I write music that I like 100%. Now to the 32% of y'all that said that you lose momentum because you don't want to sound like anyone else, here's a few pieces of advice. I would broaden your palette by listening to new artists, new songs, new styles. This doesn't necessarily have to be new artists that just came out, but they're new to you. So these could be older rappers, these could be newer rappers, but you may want to expand out a little bit and try to discover some new stuff. Now, a few rap albums that I recommend that you check out that are very different is Outkast, A.T. Aliens, Bone Thugs and Harmony, E. 1999 Eternal, Field Mob, From the Rooter to the Tutor, Sahai the Prince, No Dope on Sundays, and A Tribe Called Quest, The Low End Theory. And don't stop there. I also recommend that you listen to different genres of music as well, and understand that pretty much every genre is comprised of the blending of multiple other genres. For an example, hip hop was formed by combining elements of jazz, funk, disco, soul music, and even rock. And I found that the more versatile that you are, the less likely it is that you're going to get stuck due to feeling like you're sounding like someone else, because you have so many more options that you can audition and try out for any given song. And the more that you expose yourself to different styles and sounds and flavors, the more versatile you're going to be, because essentially your sound is an accumulation of all of your influences. Now, to the 22% that says that you hesitate because you sound too unique and just too different, here's my advice to you. This is a great problem to have, as long as your uniqueness is dope. Your music will never be for everyone. Regardless of how popular Eminem is, his music is not for everyone. So don't worry about trying to be liked by everybody. And this reminds me of a concept that I learned about from the author Seth Godin in his book called The Purple Cow. Just imagine looking at a bunch of cows in a pasture, but one of them is purple. Which one is going to stick out to you in your mind? Which one are you going to remember later on in the day? Of course, it's going to be the purple cow. And I believe that most of us are already purple cows because we're complex individuals. As a society, we try to use labels as a lazy way of understanding each other. But in truth, there's way more complexity and nuance to who we are as individuals. If you read about the origin stories of the Beatles, Eminem, or even Sylvester Stallone, one thing they all have in common is people did not get them at first. When you're a trendsetter, people aren't going to get you at first because they're already conditioned to like what is already popular and accepted, because that makes them feel validated and accepted themselves. So don't be afraid to be the purple cow. And who knows, you might be the next person who creates a new music trend. And to the 46% of you who said, I don't care, I write the music that I like. That's awesome. This is what I strive to get all my students to do. Just make the music that you want to hear. Trust your gut, trust your instinct. You don't have to be some type of master rapper or an artist to know what you like and what you dislike. Trust that. There's a reason you feel that way. And there's a market for everything. I don't care how much you hate a particular artist. I guarantee you that artist has a significant fan base that loves their music. And you may not get it because it's not for you. So just strive to make the music that you genuinely like, because it's better to be disliked for who you are than liked for who you are not. My name is Cole Mize with ColeMizeStudios.com, where I strive to make you a better rapper now. And if you're trying to perfect your rap skills, make sure that you get yourself a free copy of my ebook, The #1 Fundamental to Rapping, via the link in the video description below, and subscribe to this channel for more straight to the point, no BS, how to rap videos tutorials just like this one. And always remember, when it comes to rapping, there's no rules, there's only techniques. Peace. Hey man, you see that subscribe button right there? Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Oh, and don't forget the bell icon. Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Hey, I know you see that like button, right? Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. And look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, today I'm gonna kill it, kill it.